All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your weekly collective reading. Some of you are just getting up like Apollo, and depending on which part of the world are you in, you might be in right now. You might be also getting ready for an evening rest here. But whatever time of day it is, I'm so glad that you joined me. We have some great messages today. I know, Apollo. Welcome. That was a loud yawn from him. We'll let him get back to his napping. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. And if you've never attended one of my weekly collectives before, I'm so happy you joined today. You're in for a treat. What we do every weekend is take a look at the next 7 days. There's also a special topic that we'll be covering, and channel members, Patreon members, and then also everyone that's a subscriber gets a chance to vote as well. But I put up about 5 different topics, and today your choice was messages from your guides. I got some messages last night and also this morning, and we'll be talking about that. And then we're going to let the cards also reveal some additional information. Let's talk a little bit about the format, and then we'll get into the reading because there's a lot to talk about. So the way that I've structured this, and it's changed organically over the past few weeks, is we'll begin with channeled messages. That's what I was scribbling feverishly before the show began here. So all the channel messages come from dreams, meditation, my own clairvoyance, and a lot of it will come through live here as well. This is just to kind of jog my memory. The next piece of this will be the 7-day forecast. So we'll look at this Sunday to next Sunday. I'll pull a card for every day of the week. I'll look also at an elemental breakdown, looking at the different signs. So you can get a little bit more specific, but not every sign, just sort of like grouped by earth, air, water, fire, etc. We'll look at the blessings and blocks also for the week ahead. So you know what to avoid and you also know what to embrace. And I'll usually throw in a special live poll that you can vote on. So there might be something that I'm noticing, and I'll put 2 or 3 things and again, let you vote just in case you didn't get a chance to vote for this. And then we'll get into the big topic today, which is connecting with your guides. And that's always fun. This is basically a chance to see things that you need to be paying attention to. Maybe for some of you that are really busy and don't have time to meditate, this is the one chance to kind of get those messages and allow them to come through. After we do the meditation, then we'll take a look at, after we do the special topic, then we'll do a meditation. I have a special instrument that we'll be using today, and it's this pyramid. This is a quartz crystal pyramid that I'll be playing. It has a very different sound. I actually feel like it comes across nicer on air here, so I think you'll enjoy this. We'll do a meditation today as well. Maybe what we can do is a way for you to connect to guides. I remember when I first started to learn how to read cards, my teacher kind of gave me a meditation that you can use. So we might wrap that up in today's reading because it kind of nicely follows the topic that you chose for me to talk about today. At the very end, I always also pull an additional card. So I do my best to try to cover everything, but of course, each of you has unique things that you're working through. So if I don't answer your question during the reading, the main portion, stick around until the end. I'll pull a final card after we meditate. You can silently ask a question and we'll see where that goes, okay? Good to see everybody. Welcome here. I have 2 moderators today. Both Maria and Dakota will be here to help you. If you have any questions, they can point you in the right direction. They also keep the room a nice sort of like welcoming place. So thanks to both of them. Okay, couple of quick notes here, and then we're going to get started. First of all, I see you've already gotten some new channel members and a really nice contribution there from Regina. Thank you so much. At the very end, I'm going to say thank you to everybody that gives back. It does help me continue to add new supplies like this. So thank you so much for that. I try to put it right back in the channel. I also have a new Oracle deck here, which I might try to put into today's reading as well. So I'm constantly updating supplies, and I appreciate you guys. So feel free to give back if you would like to. Completely optional, but you can do that by clicking here. You can also join and become a member by clicking on that as well. Membership just allows you to do some extra votes, and also I'll be doing a Q&A probably in a few weeks here, and you'll be able to participate in that. All right, I'll talk a little bit more about ways to connect, but let's get into the reading right now. I want to begin with your totem, and I always like to work with spirit totems. Sometimes it's an animal, sometimes it's an insect, sometimes it's an element like water. Today, it's one of my favorite totems, which is the ladybird, or ladybug rather. It's both. You can call it either way. We'll call it ladybug today because that's kind of the most common. It's actually a beetle. It's a very beneficial beetle. For any of you that like grow roses or any kind of flower that is sometimes I guess, besieged, if you will, by mites and aphids. They love to eat aphids, actually. And one thing that's interesting with this particular beetle is that it's a transformation symbol. Sometimes you just look at the adult ladybug and you assume, oh, that's how they're born. No, they actually have a larval stage. I'm going to show you a few images and we'll talk a little bit more about this. So if you've ever seen a little strange creature on your flower that looks like this, you'll notice it kind of has the coloring of the ladybug. That's actually the second phase. So that there's eggs, larva, pupa, and then the adult phase. So this is what goes around and eats the aphids, just like the adult does. They lay the eggs near a place where there's a lot of aphids, and then they hatch and they eat the other bugs. So these are very beneficial insects. Never kill them if you see them. They help your whole garden out. They're a very good luck symbol too. Whenever I have something that's going on and I see one or two of these out in nature, typically things work out really well. So for me, it's a personal symbol for luck. They also have this really cool feature that we'll get into in a moment where their wings can fold 2 or 3 different ways, like origami underneath the shell. So they're transformative. They're very resourceful. They have this kind of engineering energy about the totem as well. All in all, love this particular symbol. There's some more here, but I'm going to keep this on my lap while we get started here, and I just want to kind of break it down, and then I'll talk a little bit more about some of the images here. So if I had to break down like 3 main things that come through: luck, transformation, survival. I would also add like engineering to that too, because they are kind of like a feat of engineering. So we'll make it 4 there. They go through this sort of ugly duckling larval phase, which I showed you, before they become the beautiful adult beetle that we love and know. So one of the important things when you look at that, because again, I wouldn't say it's a scary bug, but it's not pretty, right? It's not as pretty as the adult version of it. It's just a reminder that if something is midway through, like a project, or if there's someone in their own life that they're kind of sorting things out, we should never be too quick to judge something before we see the big picture, before we see the outcome. And for those of you like me that are like writers or musicians, isn't it frustrating when people try to judge your work, your body of work, maybe by like 1 page, 15 pages, or 1 song or an EP, because you have this whole great sort of repertoire and they're just looking at a small piece and they're like, yep, forget it, or, oh, I love you. So one thing that we want to try to do is look at the big picture. So artists in particular already know this, but for the rest of you, if you have like a young child in your life and they're maybe going through a challenging time, this doesn't mean that they are forever going to be in that challenging moment. You want to be there and support them and meet them at their level and try to let them know that it's a safe space. And the same is true for people that you know in your own life, friends and family as well. So let's let people go through their transformation, because we don't know what the beautiful end result might be. Let's try to see, what I put here was like to try to see the potential, not the gaps. And I think this is one of the things that's really important for children in your life, and anybody going through a development or a change or transformation in their life. Rather than seeing and focusing on what's missing, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, why can't you be more like this? What if you focus on how exciting it is to help them get to the finish line and to just be there to support them and cheer them on? It's not like if you think of any athlete, for instance, it's not like they got first place in the first race the first time, unless it was an amazing fluke of, luck or whatever. It doesn't always happen that way. Usually it's a lot of hard work. There's a few, falls and tumbles and scratches and scrapes along the way, but you're there to support them. So do that for yourself, do it for others. It's going to help. And today the Ladybug is reminding us to not judge which phase of change you're in. Okay. I'm trying to focus on different things. I've covered the Ladybug before, but today it had very different energy that I wanted to look at. And that was one of the pieces. So again, if other people in your life are somewhere off a little bit, just try to support them. I think that's the key thing. So this is something new. As I was doing my research, I always try to learn something new and share it with you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. I had someone once complain about it, but this is actually how I understand symbols. So if you're impatient with symbols, it's the same as cards. You've got to learn, you've got to go deeper. And that's how I kind of relate the symbol to you. So the research actually brings me more clarity and depth. So one thing that I learned as I was kind of researching this symbol was that they actually swarm a little bit. And this is for hibernation as much as it is for reproduction. It's kind of beautiful. So here's an image of them covering the ground, or in this case, like a tree or a log. And who knew that there could be that many at once that could kind of swarm over different objects? Let me see if I can pick up anything else. Yeah, it's just kind of amazing. I think that was the best picture that I could find. But when I was looking at this, sometimes they do this under a snowdrift, they can do it under a rock, they can do it in the house, they can do it on different surfaces. And that's so that they can kind of basically conserve their energy, stay warm. And they rely on the temperature to tell them when it's time to come out of hibernation. So there's this group energy that I didn't expect to pick up with the totem that I've never seen before, actually. So much like the 6 of Wands, which equals success, and the 8 of Wands, which is really seeing things moving in your life in a positive way, you're not alone. These are both community cards. You don't always see it with the 8 of Wands, but there's actually people in that particular pip card as well. So it's interesting that we only, like, businesses use this term, but human resources is what this totem is bringing in. So for you, that can mean friends, that can mean your partner, that can mean your family, your children, or your parents, or whatever. So who in your life can you lean on? Who are the actual human being resources that you rely on and rely on you? There's a family there. I guess even the 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Cups could also connect with this. But basically, you don't have to do this, whatever this is, alone. And that's what this particular thing is saying here. You can also rally support, but you might need to meet the other person halfway. This isn't something where they're going to just come to you or you're just going to come to them. Try to kind of meet in the middle and see where you can go from there, but you're not alone. There are resources available for you, and resources are not always cash or some sort of investment or something like that. It can be time, energy, money, and also people. Different ways of kind of tapping into pentacles, because we sometimes see it just as an exchange of money, but there are many different types of resources. This totem says focus on the people in your life because they can help you as well. Maybe balancing out that resource is something that you want to look at as well, making sure that you're not in a 2 of Pentacles moment where you're spread too thin or someone's taking a little bit too much and you have to pull up like the 6 of Pentacles and say no or not yet. The reason that they kind of go into so they do, I said they kind of go into that hibernation stage. One of the things that I learned about the hibernation is that based on the resources that they store up, both like internally and I guess around them, they can survive up to 9 months, which is really, really great. This is a key message about remembering to plan ahead and also to create a contingency plan. Contingency being a fancy word for like, what do I do now? It's that rainy day fund that you have in case you get a flat tire, if you own a house, in case like you need to call in a plumber, things like that. So when something unexpected happens, hopefully you have a safety net. So, and then the other piece of this is looking for like the long term. What am I going to do when I'm 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? Planning for a future. And for those of you that are younger, this is also just the power of planning. So if you're 18, 19, 20, or in school, or you've just started your job or some sort of training, where are you trying to go, either after the training or now that you've got it? The sooner you start to think of this, hopefully for many of us, it begins when we're younger, we can put together a better grouping of skills and trainings, but you can always add on to it. And I also strongly believe that whatever you have, you gained it for a reason. So don't ever look at it as a missed sort of thing. Years later, it may make a lot more sense than it does when you're going through it. So just keep looking to the future and think, well, what else? I'm a goals-oriented person. It's the Capricorn ascendant in me. So I like to have a plan. I like to know what's going on. I like to write things down. I also have Virgo in my chart. So I just kind of like to be organized. So that part of me wants to see the big picture, but it also helps me accomplish things. So the Ladybug is reminding you that planning is key. All right. I was also interested to see that they play dead. I didn't know this. So just like a possum and other kind of totems would do, it'll just lay upside down and look like it's dead. So a predator looking at it would think, I don't want something that's dead. So it avoids it. What this actually immediately came to mind, or what came to mind when I was looking at this, was the 5 of Swords. A strange correlation, but that was what my intuition brought in. So if there's 5 of Swords is a conversation you can't win a lot of times, or a situation where it's going to be kind of sticky getting through it. Nobody really comes out a clear quote unquote winner. So if this happens, then it might be better to just be quiet. You don't have to like play dead, but you can decide to not give them the energy that they're looking for. The other person will move on when they don't get a rise out of you. Some people feed off of other people's energies and reactions. They like to act up, and then they sort of wait to see what you do. And they'll try different things to see if they can get a rise out of you. And if they won't, then they're going to turn over here and bother the next person. So the one thing that we're learning here from the ladybug is just play it quiet. We don't want to play dead. The only time you would want to basically make sure that you're talking to the person is if it goes from the 5 to the 7. The 7 of Swords is when someone is acting a fool and is trying to test you. It's less about getting a rise, and they might be lying to you, trying to get away with something, just kind of acting in a shady way. That's when you want to come out and say, stop it. But if they're just trying to get a rise and talking about something provocative, just say, okay, and then just keep focusing on something else. This is especially true if you're around family and they're bringing up hot topics that just, it's not worth it. So decide when and where you're going to delve into that, and realize there may not be a clear win, because the symbol did come up, the ladybug on its back, just kind of with its legs in the air, one eye open, waiting for something to pass. So try to kind of take one note from the ladybug, which is this particular conversation, if it arises, isn't worth your energy. What I put here is it's better to conserve. One thing that I liked about the ladybug is that it plans, it conserves, and that it kind of has it's also sometimes, if it's in the younger phase, it's saving up for that transformation. So put the energy where you can actually see growth and movement. Okay. I talked about their wings, and the wings kind of fold up 3 or 4 different ways and then go underneath the shell. It's kind of like origami. I would show you a video, but I probably would get flagged for doing that. So just Google it or look at it on YouTube, and you'll see like ladybug wings, and you can watch at how they fold and unfold. It's really cool, actually. To me, it's a symbol of a feat of engineering, and it's a reminder that you can find a way to make something work. It just might be unusual. It might be out of the box. You may even question, can I do that? Should I do that? The more sort of out there it is, probably the better it will work, because people aren't expecting it. And if we don't ever change our approach, then how are we going to learn new things? How are things going to shift? So, when it comes to medicine and science and technology, change is the number one sort of, I would say, key to success. You have to keep evolving. So anyway, an evolutionary and a kind of like also metamorphic energy and symbol here with the ladybug. So I really enjoyed that. All right, let's move into messages that came from your guides to me in dreams last night. Some of you are, I would say, in a pivotal moment where you can negotiate this month. I'm not sure how it's going to break down for each of you, but I did see a couple of examples that came in the way of maybe buying a big ticket item, and for some of you, possibly trying to negotiate salary or a title as well. So let's talk about how these might break down, and then we'll look at the cards in a second. There'll be some more messages. The good news was, based on what I saw, you can negotiate. You're poised for being able to be received when it comes to that negotiation. All right, so the key moments that I saw were looking to buy a big ticket item. So in particular, this felt like it was a house for some of you, maybe buying or selling a house or negotiating a lease, because prices are astronomical right now in a lot of places. And there was room. It was ridiculous. It looked like to me the number was too high. And I got like 20 to 30. Maybe there's a percentage that you could get off, or it might be, numbers subtracted from the total. But it looked like you could actually negotiate a little bit. So for some of you, that could be maybe a couple $100s off rent, because the prices might have just gone up or they're inflating it. So look at comp prices in your area for rentals, as well as apartments. As well as houses. Not everybody owns. So whether you're renting or owning, I felt like there was a little bit of wiggle room, because it's, at least here in, I think it's probably true in Canada too, but like in America, prices are crazy right now with rent, because a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are looking at buying stuff. So no matter what it is, though, I feel like there's room for that big ticket item to be adjusted. One of the tools the other person's using for you is artificial or arbitrary limits or deadlines. If you are put up against the wall where someone says you have to make a decision in the next hour or in the next day, make sure that you're not doing something sight unseen, because you do not want to. We're like this particular reading, not like my monthlies are for the month ahead, but this is for right now. We're in retrograde. We're going to be in retrograde until the 17th of October. So between now and October 17th, 18th or later becomes auspicious and better for signing a contract. But if you have to do something now because you have a move or something that's already underway, make sure you get the information. If someone's trying to rush you, you could say, you can push back. Just say, why are you in such a hurry? Are you trying to hide something? I now want a little bit more time because I need to see that. I'm not going to sign until I see it. Or we're going to put a special clause here that if I want to get out, there's no sort of repercussions. You can write something like that in a contract. Anything's possible if you request it. So push back on arbitrary deadlines. For those of you that are just working a traditional job and your boss says that they need to have a certain amount of things by a certain time, it might also be a fake deadline that they're passing on to you to try to have a contingency. So make sure that if it's unreasonable or impossible, that you just say, that's great that you want that. This is how much is going to get done, though. And if you want more, you're going to have to hire more people because I can only do this much. Because that's sometimes true. You can't, sometimes people will work you as much as you're going to be willing to. So use the 6 of Pentacles and say how much, and then let them make the decision. Say, I can do this now, or I can do this. What's more important? That's a better way of doing it. And say, I'll leave it up to you to prioritize. It can't all get done. You have to choose, or you have to get more resources, or you have to talk to your boss, or I'll talk to your boss. So sort of let them know that what's possible and what's not. Let's see here. I would say also don't overpay or overwork. We were just talking about that. Resource management is the main message here. There's pushing back that can be done. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. Let's move on to those of you that might be job seeking or looking for new opportunities, because it can work both ways. For those of you that might be retired or that are volunteering or whatever. Here's the interesting thing. Sometimes I saw you in the process of writing and rewriting a resume or a CV. And one thing that I wanted you to factor in, I felt like I was talking to you in the dream, was to look at, for those of you that have had a gap because you've traveled, because you've taken time off, because you've had a family, because of COVID, any number of things. Look at what you've done in the gap period and make sure that you talk about that. For those of you that might have decided to do your own business and maybe you sold that and you want to go back to a traditional job, you were, for all intents and purposes, the CEO. You were probably a manager. You were probably doing the physical work. So, the word that came into my mind was director. So for those of you that are trying to show that directorial energy, talk about all the lines of business that you looked at, etc. For those of you that manage other things in your life, including a family and a household, that's also got sort of directorial energy. So don't forget to put in all of the sort of things that you do every day. And I would say, talk yourself up. Don't lie, but make sure that you're not selling yourself short in a resume. It should highlight the strengths. And there is an importance there to be comfortable and confident in saying what you can do. And maybe reframing certain things that you wouldn't have imagined to be important. I also felt like a face-to-face is going to be super critical to sort of getting this the way you want it to be. So if somebody's having a hard time meeting with you, and face-to-face can be what we're doing right now too, so digital, but they need to see your face. And I felt like this is a time where you can push it. Don't go to the point where you're driving them nuts. But I would say 1 or 2 extra emails or calls to the point where they're like, yeah, I'll take it. What do you need? It's good. You need to kind of like get their attention. And if they're really busy, they might need that extra push. But listen, if it's 5 or 6 times, you're kind of barking up the wrong tree, and you'll want to try something different. But 1 or 2 extra approaches, I think, is going to, for some of you, make it work. This was also really key. If you're the last person that someone sees, maybe they've seen 15 other candidates, or maybe if someone's just been waiting for something to click and they take one more interview, that's also the easiest and the last person that was on their mind. Sometimes that's beneficial. I've actually gotten jobs before where I'm the last candidate. Or I've been an interviewer before, and it's sort of like, I really like the second to last or the last person, because you're remembering them. Like 15 people ago, you can't remember so much. So it doesn't matter where you finish or when you finish, just that you do. So keep pushing. And sometimes that last sort of email, that if you're the last interview, there's something good about being the last. Because what they were showing me is you're also closest to the door. So you can get in and out if you need to, but also the door is right there. It might also open up for you. So your guides were reminding me not to, you shouldn't be focusing so much on where it is, where you're at. So some important messages here, and I'm going to summarize quickly, and then we're going to get into the reading. The ladybug showing us transformation, thinking through things in a different way, not to judge something if it's in an ugly duckling sort of phase, and remembering also the community or human resources that are around you. When it comes to negotiations, you have power, you have a voice, use it. And don't be afraid to really reframe up your resume. You shouldn't be sending the same thing out to everybody. Each one should have some unique tweaks to them, because no two people are alike, no two companies are alike, and it's going to be important for you to show your different. It's like a crystal, right? If I can find one here, there's like different facets to it, so you want to be showing all the different facets you have, right? So there you go. All righty, let's move into the next portion. We're going to go into the 7-day forecast next and take a look at Sunday to Sunday and see what's coming through. How's everybody doing today? Saw we had some new members that joined, so welcome to the new members. Thanks to everybody that's showing some support and contributions. Like I said, I'll say thank you later. All right. If you missed anything here, usually within a day or two, I post all of this on my social media. I pinned a note from Dakota earlier. You can check out those links if you want to see it. I'll quickly put it up right now, but again, it's in the pinned comments. So on most social media, just like YouTube, it's at Nicholas Ashbaugh, easy to remember. And I posted those little cards that I wrote on Instagram, Facebook, and the community tab of YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter, slightly different handle, but same awesome content. All right, let's focus now on your 7-day forecast for the next week that's coming up. Let's see what I want to use here for this. Okay, let's use this. Okay, let's take a look at Sunday to Sunday, and then we'll move into the next portion. All right, next 7 days. By the way, when I'm doing these readings, it's for everyone. We will have an elemental portion where I look at all the different like earth, air, water, fire signs, but that's coming up in just a few moments here. So let's focus first on the general messages for everyone that's present. Today's message, look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These are the Ladybird cards that were coming through. And let's look at Saturday's looking awesome. And then next Sunday, a preview of that. All right. Okay, so we got some interesting cards, some good ones and some stuff to look at. All right, today's a great day. This is really representing what we're all doing today too, showing up, supporting one another. And this was the message of leaning on people in your life. The card is reversed, so I think a lot of you spend extra time and probably a good portion of your energy being there for others. So it's a reminder to make sure that you're not afraid to tap into their own energy and ask for help when you need that as well. So I see support here. I see a delay for some of you in maybe finally getting that sort of connection to happen, whether it's love in your life or partnership. But what you want to do is hold space and keep working on this, because you have a very attractive energy. Whenever Lovers or Two of Cups or Four of Wands is reversed, it's saying you can actually bring through everything that you want, but you want to be patient, and you don't want to lose hope or lose vision of what's going on. So you're on the right track, basically. Today, what you want to focus on is reconnecting, perhaps with some people that you love. It's a great day to send a text, send an email, pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Reach out. It'll be received pretty well, especially if it's a close friend or family member. So do that kind of work. And then also, if somebody in your life invites you somewhere, maybe it's to lunch, maybe it's to dinner, maybe it's for a drink or whatever, think about saying yes. You don't have to do it today if you don't want to, but the invitation is there, and you never know what could transpire from that. Maybe they're going to connect you to someone else. Maybe it's just going to make you feel better and shift your energy up. Whatever it is, there's power in that sort of very close connection. This isn't just a casual connection. This would be a close friend, a family member, a colleague whom you truly enjoy spending time and energy with, okay? Someone who lifts you up, who doesn't kind of push you down. I think today would be a good day to do that, because as we're looking at the energy of tomorrow, looking at Monday, you do have the Hermit coming through. The Hermit's reversed, and this particular Hermit seems to be kind of, I think, at a point where it's really kind of the energy of being shy. I do love the Hermit, though, because the Hermit is introspection, self-discovery, sometimes using that energy of discerning when and where to connect with people. So there might be people that aren't worth it, which we see later in the week. But the card's reversed, so it's saying by the end of the day, make sure that you have a chance to communicate your thoughts, share whatever you're working on, come out of your shell. So it looks like it'll be a slow start to Monday, but hopefully a very strong finish. The Hermit always carries the energy of the star, so you have what it takes. This star is kind of hidden. You can see her wearing it instead of holding it in the lantern. But you have that. You're basically a lot closer to accomplishing or conveying or getting whatever you need to get done. But for some reason, you're holding on a little bit. So focus on releasing. On Tuesday, this is a day where people are looking for the leader. It's sort of like, who should I be listening to? Who should I be focusing on? So somebody has to step up. It's either you or maybe you're going to support someone. It's interesting. I was looking at the moon phase this morning, and it mimicked this quite a bit. So I would say the important thing for you right now is to not be afraid to show a different point of view. I think that if you are comfortable with it, if you push it out there and say, this is something I'm excited about, you might be surprised at how well it's received. You have to trust yourself, though, for that to kind of really come through and for people to believe in that. So anyway, please do listen to yourself, and please do listen to those higher messages that are coming through. All right. So let's take a look now at the next day. And we're going to go to Wednesday here. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is reversed. So for some of you, there might be something coming through that is unexpected. This could be really good news where you're so distracted and focusing on something else that you might miss it. So I want you to really pay attention. Open up your mail, look at your email, listen to your messages, your voicemail, because you want to expect some good news to come through midweek. And the other thing here that you want to be thinking of is how much you want to put into certain things in your life. Again, resource management. Am I getting a return on this? Is this worth it? Is this going to be, again, something where I can really see growth and expansion happening? So I believe that for many of you, there's a great offer, a great opportunity. Some of you may choose to reinvest that day. So this can also indicate that you want to take some resources in your life and say, you know what, I'm not happy with this. I want to put it here. So basically, resource management overall is the message for Wednesday, and possibly some unexpected good news. But you have to decide, is this good for me? Am I ready for this? Don't let fear sort of get in the way of you being able to accept that. For those of you that are waiting to hear back from someone, this is a good card for that. But it is a little tentative, which is why it wouldn't hurt to pick up the phone or send an email or say, hey, thank you again for meeting with me. I just wanted to check in. Or if it's been a family member and you haven't heard from them in a while, just say, you crossed my mind today. How are you? Okay. The next thing here that we're looking at is Thursday. Thursday is a little tricky, but what I like about it is it's a revelation card. So in the upright position, Seven of Swords might be someone getting away with something. But when it's reversed, that's not going to happen anymore. In fact, this could also be karma served. So if you've been witness to someone who just seems to have the best luck but the worst habits, it catches up with them on Thursday. And you might be the person that people are reaching out to pick up the mess. So this is where I think it's important for you to decide, again, how much you can do, how much you shouldn't have to do, maybe because that's been something they've been ignoring for a while. I think you're going to actually end up looking okay because of this in rapid succession. So somebody also maybe sees that they can't win, or it's not worth their time and energy, and they're moving on. Either way, we're seeing something for its true colors on Thursday. I think you want to be very cognizant of, again, that playing dead energy. If somebody is already in the energy of the Seven of Swords, tell them what they can and can't do, or that you see that. But then at some point, get away from that too, because 7 and 5 of swords, it's just not great to entangle in. Report that to someone else or engage the proper person, but don't get yourself in that energy too much. Honestly, this person has already kind of dug a hole for themselves, so I don't think you have to do much more based on what I'm saying. You want to avoid anything that is not completely honest on that day. You're going to get caught. So be transparent, come clear, come clean on something if you need to. It'll feel better. You'll progress because of that. And that's basically the message for Thursday. Friday, just try your best. I know sometimes it's hard, but with the 10 of swords here, there could be someone in your life that just is having a bad day and decides that you're the person that they're going to talk to when they're having their bad day or their bad moment. So taking a deep breath like I just did is really key. And I think the other thing here, if you look very close, see she's holding a cell phone on this. So if there's something that's on your mind that's kind of driving you crazy about someone or something, this is reminding you that sometimes you don't want to hit send. You want to sleep on it before you share the message, or have a second set of eyes and ears, listen to and look at what it is you want to say. I feel like there's a way that you could soften the blow or elevate the message, is something I like to talk about a lot here. Find a way to say it better. And if someone in your life isn't using their words the way they should, then say, I'm concerned. Are you okay? This isn't constructive. Can we talk later? And if they don't stop, you might have to just say, this isn't acceptable, and you just walk away from that in that moment. Don't fight fire with fire, because you can't win with the 10 of swords, really. So the important thing here, you've got 2 days where communication's off. We really have retrograde energy coming in. Because you're watching live, it's not going to affect you the same way it would if you weren't watching. So the 7 of swords reverse is saying there's a revelation. You're going to embrace that. You're going to also let karma work its magic. If someone else is going through something, you don't have to rub salt in the wounds or anything. It's going to work itself out. So you just take the high road that day and really focus on transparent communication. Walk away from people that are nasty on Friday. Focus on personal well-being. If you are overworked, take a sick day. This is a day where you want to get a massage, get some acupuncture. If you're having anything that's going wrong in your body, chronic pain or fatigue, take care of that. Personal care day mostly on Friday. So if you have had, if you have time that you've been saving and wondering when can I use it, maybe this is a time when you can do a long weekend or something. Friday's not the most productive day. Let's just pull a clarifying card because we got the 10 of swords and see if there's something that you can embrace that day. Kind of what I was just talking about, self-care. Honestly, if you can master your own emotions, other people's emotions will not have that much of an effect on you. So the cup is reversed, Queen of Cups, one of the most sensitive cards. And if she's upside down, everything else can seem topsy-turvy. So you really want to focus on taking care of yourself. Now, if you're even and there's a Queen of Cups in your life that's upside down, then you want to make sure that with the 10 of swords and the Queen of Cups, you've got to just sort of like give them space. Not much is going to be productive with them today. You might be able to tap into your creativity, however, but otherwise I think it's self-care, emotional well-being, and anything you need to do to really focus on that. Saturday looks fantastic, thankfully. We've got the strength card here. You're feeling good, you're doing well. This is a day where you can get stuff done. It's also a day to have difficult conversations. People are going to listen to you. The strength card means that you can, for those of you that are trying to negotiate a contract, this is it. You can get your way, basically, with the strength card. This is a very gentle card showing the dominion over the other, but basically, if you're in a negotiation or an argument, strength tells me, it's a very good card. It tells me you can get them to see it from your perspective, okay? So this is the day to negotiate. This is the day to get stuff done. It's also a great day to go out and take a walk or to exercise, all the normal things that you would see with strength. All right, the card is upright, so there's no sense of others imposing will on you. You find your power, your strength, and utilize it to the best. All right, and then as we look fast forwarding to next Sunday, which we'll revisit when we get to Sunday, we have the the Page of Cups in reverse. So for you, one common theme that I'm looking at collectively is that there's just a lot going on, right? So I want you to take some time and have some fun. I'm not seeing a lot of fun in this. So this is where today could be a really great way to set a positive trajectory for the week ahead and maybe avoid some of the 7 of Swords or 10 of Swords moments that we saw. have fun. It's not only allowable, I would say it's necessary for general health and well-being. Okay, so those are the main messages for the next 7 days. Let's go into the elemental cards for the next week, and then we'll look at some blessings and blocks. So the elemental cards, we're going to look at fire, earth, air, and water, and see what the messages are. Okay, just breaking it down a little bit more, giving you a little bit more energy for your particular sign, and I'll remind you which signs are within each. So let's just see here. Hey, Apollo peacefully sleeping in the background there. All right, take a look at fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, so for fire, this is going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Pretty productive card, I have to say. So this is a time for you to focus on getting things done. Whenever you see the Eight of Pentacles, it means that you get almost an immediate return on what you're focusing on. So school, learning, also kind of going within and making the plan, looking at also all of the fine print on contracts. You might discover something that you didn't see before. It's a good time to review. By the way, since we're in retrograde, all the RE things are very powerful. So review, rewrite, renovate, anything with an RE is good. So looking at something again, finishing something up, fine tuning. And so basically for all fire, again, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, really good time to get the work done. Okay. This is a card of really kind of apprenticeship and learning, but also I would say perfecting. Okay. This eventually leads to the Three of Pentacles, which is mastery, even though for some reason, I don't know why those cards aren't reversed, because the 3 is better than the 8. But this one, sometimes we have to just go back and learn from our past mistakes or whatever. This is a time to kind of really pull all that together. I feel like you're going to have a very productive week. Okay. So fire signs, you guys are sitting pretty with the Eight of Pentacles. I like it. It also shows that you can make a lot of the smaller resources that you might have. It's a scrappy and resourceful card. All right, moving on to Earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It's an end to waiting, which I love. The Hanged Man in reverse, though, is a reminder for you not to rush into something too quickly. There is power, we have the Ankh here, when you are kind of like waiting for a cosmic timing to come through. But the wait is over, is what I'm getting with this. The important thing for you now is to get your footing. So sometimes after we've been waiting and that moment comes to us, there's this feeling of, uh-oh, I have to like go into, the next gear. I have to kind of shift into a higher gear. So if that's the case, my message for you is to take a deep breath. Everything's happening at the right time for the right reason. So you can manage this too. For those of you that may now be finally getting an invitation to go back into the office, and you're thinking, can I handle this? Because you've been working from home, or it's kind of a merged thing, you'll be all right. It is just sort of the re-entry shock that I'm getting with this, or the same thing could be happening if you're starting to date again, right? So I would say some of you are just getting your footing. And when you turn this card upside down, it is like, kind of like that yoga pose where you're putting your foot against your leg, and you have to find your balance, right? So that's what we're seeing here, is going from waiting to action, and then remembering that you don't want to just sprint right into it. You're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to kind of warm up a little bit. So this is a warm-up phase for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Moving on to air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It is the balancing act that I was talking about. And for many of you, you have to say enough is enough, right? We've got the Two of Pentacles here. And what I like to always find the silver lining. If we just say no to something, we have an ace. And you can do a lot more with an ace. You can really focus on growing that. And also with the Two of Pentacles, if you were to try to bridge that to the Three of Pentacles, there would be a decision to pull in other people. Because in the Three of Pentacles, there are actually 3 people. There's 2 people that are looking at another person getting something done. You don't have to do this alone. And that's the main thing here. Ask for help, push back, or choose something. With the Two of Pentacles, air signs, it's important for you to remember that when you focus, you can often get it done faster. So rather than trying to cook 2 things at once, just get this one thing done. It's more complicated than you might think. and you might end up burning both otherwise. So that sort of metaphor being stretched here, you understand what I'm getting at. Get one thing done and get it done right, then move on to the next. Some of you may also have to make a tough call between two things, but you'll be more satisfied once you make that call. Ultimately, guess what? We have a common thread here: balance and balance again. So as we look even in the sort of individual elements, I'm still seeing commonalities here. All right. Now we're going to look at water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You guys are also sitting pretty this week. We have Son of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles. And the only thing that's missing from me from this particular illustration is the movement. I want to actually see the movement. But some of you might be taking a pause to celebrate the success, because there's kind of a harvest energy that I'm looking at here with the crops behind him. And it's almost like he's picked a fruit from one of the trees or a vegetable from the ground here. So some of you may be in a moment here where you're taking a pause to look at how well you've done, what you can do next, what this all means. Ultimately, I like this message for you. This could also mean a delivery of something. You're finishing something and giving it to someone. It could be the receipt of something from someone else. And it might also be that message of meeting halfway, okay? Really, we don't have anything negative in the elements this month. I would say when I'm looking at this, fire and water seem to have more resources coming in, and it looks like earth and air have to do more of a balancing act. But overall, that's good, because you're going to be able to access, hopefully you have people in the other elements in your life that can kind of help you out with that, all right? So quick mini review of this. If I just had to say a couple words about fire, it's getting to work and focusing on learning and expanding. You'll get a return on energy. Fine details. Looking at, so that was fire, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. For earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, finding your balance, not rushing something. Realizing that now that you're starting something again or starting anew, that it takes a little time to get there. Again, for air, you have a couple of, maybe for some of you, you just have two really great opportunities in front of you. You got to pick. So this is just about picking, and it's also about making sure that you're not being pulled so far that you kind of snap, okay? But you have opportunities and you have resources. Just be discerning. And then finally, again, when we're looking at water, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, take a moment to celebrate what you've got, and then also make sure that you are listening to, receiving, and considering new things coming in, maybe sharing some of what you have with people around you as well. All right, let's move on to the next piece here, where we're going to look at blessings and blocks. So the blessings for the week ahead would be something that you really want to celebrate and embrace. I'm going to use the same deck for this. So let's see what's coming through that really is deserving of your time and your energy. The blessing for the week ahead is really trusting in your ability to communicate. I love a Page of Swords because the page to me is the most approachable of the court cards when it comes to swords. So I feel like give yourself credit when it comes to being able to use your words, being able to also discern and cut through other people's nonsense. That sword is good at clearing the air. So clear the air, speak your mind. And if you have to call out some of this nonsense, you'll be able to do it, okay? And if you have to identify this and walk away from it, you'll know how to do it. You can also diffuse. By the way, I kind of missed something with this. The best way to diffuse this is with love. So if someone in your life is in pain and is lashing out, just say, I really care about you. And but I don't appreciate what you're saying. So I don't appreciate the way you're saying it. I know that you're hurt and I know we need to talk, but let me know what's going on with you first, because this isn't working. So find a way to put love into it, but also to be firm. You can be firm and strong. That's why it's the Queen of Cups. I would just like her to be upright, which is that she's not going to allow the other person to kind of like put that energy on. So speak your mind, speak clearly, and cut through any nonsense. You're going to need to do that around Thursday and Friday. The rest of the week, you can actually just put pen to paper, especially if you're a fire sign and you've got some work to do, okay? Let's look at the blocks for the week ahead, things that you want to be careful of, things that you might want to approach in a different manner. All right. So there are people in your life. We have the King of Pentacles or the God of Pentacles in this particular deck. The card is reversed. So oftentimes this indicates a person in your life that is so much better at taking than giving. So if there's someone in your life that is just not empathic, is not sensitive, demands too much, what you want to try to do is find a way to move past this or heal this or find a different route. This is also, I actually take a kinder view of the King of Pentacles when we're looking at you. This is about how can I work on developing myself? Have I been giving so much to others that I've forgotten to nurture myself? It's a paternal card. So I actually usually see father with him and mother with the Queen of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is a chance to heal the inner child, to do something you've always been wanting to do. There's a fear that you might be thinking, but this is selfish. But part of your journey is self-growth and development. So if you are the kind of person that gives and gives and gives, this is your chance to receive a little bit, just like we were seeing here for, what was I looking at? Water. So give yourself a chance to develop. Say no to someone who's taking too much. Ask for something that you need. This is really key, probably also for air signs who need the balance. Because many times, air signs, you know this too, you're very good at listening and thinking through things. And depending on how the air falls in your chart, it might be hard for you to stand up for yourself and ask for what you want to. You end up being everyone's therapist or problem solver. So this is a really good message for the air signs in particular. So ground yourself, do something for yourself. And as I was looking even at Earth, this is going to be important for you too. Just really figure out, what do I want? What's going on? Don't lose your footing and don't let someone else take too much of your energy. Okay. Let's go into a viewer's choice. Normally I kind of put the poll out before I do it, but what I'll do is give you the viewer's choice and I'll clear the table and then we'll get ready for the next portion. So as I'm looking at these cards, and we'll pull the camera down for a second so we can see this together. Here are some things that I am noticing. I really want to take a look at communication here because of what we're seeing. I want to look at the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So I'm going to ask a couple questions on that. And then I also want to look at balance because those are the kind of common threads. So let me just get my keyboard up here and type a couple of things, and then I'll let you vote on it while I put all of the cards back where they belong, and we'll go from there. All right, so your viewer's choice poll for all of you that are watching live is going to appear in the upper right in just a few moments after I type it, so give me a moment. So let's go ahead and do a live poll for you. So viewer's choice, and let's see if I can get this to work. All right, here we go, viewer's choice. First question is about the Seven of Swords. So I want to look at how to deal with, for me, this would be accountability, people that aren't accountable. So I'm just going to put accountability and you'll understand. There's a limit to how much I can put here. So like how to deal with accountability. And the next thing that I want to look at is how to diffuse difficult conversations. That would be the Ten of Swords. And I'm just going to have to put diffusing difficult conversations again because of word limits here. And then let's do one more, which was about finding the perfect balance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. You guys can vote on it right now. And as you do that, I'm going to clear my cards so that I can get ready for the next portion. So take your time. Everyone will have a chance here to vote that's watching live. That's, again, up in the corner. If you're watching it on a TV, though, or yeah, I think TVs won't do it, but any sort of mobile device or computer should allow you. Upper corner, just click on it, kind of like I do with the polls, and that'll be good. So I'm going to select my deck while you guys are doing all of that. How is everyone today? I hope your day is going really well. And I'm so glad you spent some time with me today. All right, let me take a drink of tea here. It's just chilled herbal tea. Helps my throat when I'm doing these longer readings. All right, it looks like we have a decent amount that have voted, about 276. That's enough. So I'm going to end the poll. Last moment if you want to click on it. All right, here we go. Ending the poll now. And let's choose a deck of cards for this. Okay. All right, I will shuffle while you're getting your results tabulated there. And it looks like it's coming up. Okay, so 47% of you decided to find the perfect balance. All right, this is particularly for my earth and air signs out there, but all of us can benefit from it. So let's see what the message is about finding the perfect balance. Welcome to all the new members today. It's good to see you guys. Like I said, this is a good time to join because I'm very close to a milestone, only about 2,000 or 3,000 members away. So once I get to 300,000, I'm going to I think I'll do a Q&A. I might ask you guys what you're looking for, but we'll do a Q&A, and members and Patreon supporters will be able to ask some questions. All right, so back to the question about finding the perfect balance. Thanks for voting, everyone that voted. I'm going to do past, present, future on this. Okay. So as we look at past influences, it's a lot of what we saw here. So that's why I wanted to pull a little bit more. So now we have the King of Cups reversed. The interesting thing with this, I kind of like how we see him on a chessboard. So for some of you, there's this, it feels to me like you kind of realize this strategy that other people have had in maybe working your emotions, or you might even feel like they kind of played the emotions a bit. But here's the cool thing that's coming through right now. Also, if you feel like you could have done better, you could be looking back at your own life thinking, I'm upset because of this move and this move and this move. You can't control what you did. You can look at what's next. I don't play chess, but I know that you have to kind of like calculate other opponents' moves and what's left on the board. So the present card is really cool for that. So we have the Two of Wands, one of my favorite minor arcana cards, because it is just as powerful as the High Priestess, or it's connected to the High Priestess. And we see this sort of cosmic energy in this Two of Wands. This is actually also very magician-like here because it's as above, so below. So why it's so powerful is if you know what you've done and you know what you want to do, where you're at doesn't matter so much anymore, because you see now opportunities and you've learned. So all you need to do to find balance right now is look at the patterns, look at how you got here, and then figure out, do I want to keep doing that, or can I do something different? And then call that into existence. We've got the Six of Wands here in reverse. I mentioned back in my the cards that I write, the channeled messages, that I saw 6 and 8 of Wands energy. So we really see the community energy with this, and that it's not about being accepted. It's not about being successful. It's about really making sure that you are connected here. And the success is so many different things. So for some of us, we're taught that it's money, title, whatever. But really what the Six of Wands is about in your life is, on a soul level, did I pass the test that I gave myself when I came into this planet? Did I get through that? Have I learned this lesson? So this is the understanding of what was and what can be. This is doing a better job in the future. And that's really it. So the Six of Wands is pleasing yourself and pleasing your soul. And then hopefully, because it's all aligned, people will be happy for you because you are happy, but not doing something to make people happy, particularly bosses, coworkers, or family members that are conditionally connecting their love to that success. You're already successful if you're happy and if you're accomplishing what you set out to do. Whether you get the raise, whether you get the recognition, whether you get whatever, the gold star, doesn't matter. So the gold star is within you. That's what the Hermit was trying to teach us earlier. She had the star right there. She already has the gold star. So you have it. You don't need it from other people. The older you get, this is the great thing. You care about doing a great job, but you don't care so much if there's, I saw, thank you, by the way, one of my moderators had to get a comment out of there. There's always someone that says something crazy. So you just learn to ignore it. When you pass the street, there's going to be someone that does a cat call. When there's comments or this or that, there's always someone that's disrupting things. So you just don't worry about it. So this is not worrying so much about a parent, a friend, or somebody that says something on the side, because they're in their own world. So your balance is focusing on what can be, really, if this is the present, and then also being happy and being successful and accomplishing what you need to do and keeping in that energy, because as you do that, you'll start to attract a higher frequency in your life. Okay, so there you go. That's that. Now let's take a look at connecting with your guides, which is why we all showed up today. If this is popular, I may end up adding this as a card and maybe taking out one of my other things, like the soul path, because I think it's always effective to know what's going on with your guides. So we're going to be focusing on messages from your guides next. All right, I'm going to pull the camera down, and let's get started. This is, again, for everybody present. If you missed anything, it's going to be available on replay. We already went through the elemental or sign-specific information, so just stick around now. This is going to be messages from your guides, everybody that's here today. Lots of synchronicities already because we've got the King of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles again. Some really nice changes coming through for you too. What a beautiful spread, actually. Really high energy so far. I don't want to jinx it before the last card, but I love what I see. It's good. All right. Really great energy. Okay, let's go a little deeper here. Lots of divine feminine energy coming through today too, maiden womb and the Empress card. All right, I'm actually going to use a new deck for health, so we'll get a message on health here. I didn't get a chance to reset it, but I want to make sure that I use it for this one. Love the Gazelle. That's a great final card. All right, let's break this down, everyone. We've got some beautiful cards and beautiful messages here. All right, so I love this deck, but I always seem to get twos with it. The cards stick together a little bit. Okay, so we have two divine feminine cards. The top one is the womb, and it really connects with the Empress. So I think the question for many of you is, what is it that you're trying to release into the world, deliver? This can be metaphorical. This can be symbolic. So for those of you that have been holding on to something for a while, whenever we get divine feminine cards like this, it's reminding us that everything, especially when we're looking at like a child, it has to be born. It has to, I would say the time is now. The time is now to deliver or to release something that you care about, that you're passionate about. So for some of you, there may be excitement. You can't wait to share it. Some of you, there may be a little bit of fear or uncertainty, wondering like, will people love what I've created? Is this enough? And I would say, based on the cards that I see today, it is. So this is just reminding you that the time is now to release. For those of you that might be trying to get pregnant, these are auspicious symbols. And I got a Fool card, which is a baby too. So I see some good energy for creating something, and also legitimately for those of you that are trying to get pregnant, these are good symbols. We have the Maiden card reversed. So for some of you, this can almost sort of seem like innocence lost, and I actually think this is good. It's maturation, because I will take the Empress energy over the Maiden energy, because this is maturity, this is power, this is fertility, this is strength, this is leadership. So basically the green behind the ears is gone. And that's not a bad thing, because now you have the power to create, to direct, to sort of manage. For some of us, this is one thing that's kind of weird in present day society at large. Not every culture, but most. We've seemed to have lost the reverence for age and wisdom. We always are trying to turn it backwards, trying to look younger. And so what this is saying is you earned every gray hair, every wrinkle, everything, because this is showing I've been through that. I now have life experiences and things that I didn't have before. So don't worry about it. You're exactly where you need to be. You look amazing. And it's not about looks. It's about what you're going to do now with this power. Age is power and experience and wisdom. So use it. Okay. And you're not old, but you are experienced. I think we should just use that. I'm getting more experienced every year. Getting older, that word needs to change. Gaining wisdom, gaining experience, gaining power, being more patient. All of these things are coming through with that. All right, center card, Six of Cups. Really, really like this energy here. For those of you that are some of you are calling in a really high partnership. So this is for those of you that are super picky in the type of love that you're looking for. Some of you are, again, a lot of family energy coming through, whether you're looking to start a family, whether you're focusing on your family, whether you want to reconnect with a parent or a child in your life, all of that comes through. This is also the inner child for those of us that aren't focused on that, because we just basically see the little boy and the puppy, and then we see the young adult and the the older dog. Hey, Apollo, in the background. He's here for this one. He isn't always here when I have this card up. So today he's there. And so, yeah, we definitely understand that kind of energy of nurturing the inner child. It's never too late to do that. So make sure that you're giving yourself time to have fun. As I said earlier, your guides want you to enjoy. Trying to bring Apollo back into the frame there. There you go. Part of this could include understanding that you're never too old to learn or to master something different or new. So a lot of times when I'm coaching clients, they worry about their age or where they're at in their experience. So let's break it down to like 3 different ages or 3 different periods. I try to kind of make this as all inclusive as possible. For those of you that are younger, maybe still in school or just graduated, you may look at what you studied and you may have already kind of like stepped into something and thought, what did I do that for? I think I want to try a different path. It's not too late to kind of put yourself out there, especially if you're early in your career. You could always take some additional classes. You could go back. You could reframe things. So at the beginning, it's actually perfect if you have a change of heart and you want to do something different. If you're mid-career and this is me now speaking from experience here. I was about 15 years into a career by the time I decided, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And everyone in my life, at work anyway, thought I was nuts, except my really, really close friends and colleagues who knew that I was already reading cards and doing yoga and really writing and doing different stuff. My mind had already started to go in a different path probably 3 to 4 years before I quit. But it took a while for me to have the courage. But 15 years in, I quit. And I had to really work hard to create something new, but it was totally worth it. So you can always do it mid-career. And if you're retired, oh my goodness, now you have all this new time and energy to do whatever you want. So I think we get to keep reinventing ourselves. We don't ever graduate. The only graduation is when transformation steps in and says hello. It's death. So you can do a lot of mini transformations in your life without having to do that. So high school or college, that's small fry. That's just the beginning. You're going to go through tons of graduations in your life. So keep graduating and keep trying. And now's a great time to pick up something new. Okay. Whatever age, whatever specialty that you're doing, change it up. I get bored, so I like to change things up. So it's good. Keeps your mind active, keeps you productive. And you might be surprised at what you can do, right? We have the King of Cups here in the deep past. Very strong card here, showing your passion. I'm glad that we finally got a Cups card in the upright position. And what I love about this particular one is he's in control of his emotions. And we have the starfish right here, one of my favorite symbols when we're looking at like aquatic totems, because there's regeneration that's a part of that. Whenever I do pick this as a totem, I talk about the way that sometimes starfishes will tear themselves in half and then they grow another part. Sometimes we see, just one arm and then there's another body that can be created from that, or they can grow something back. I like that if you feel like you've lost something, you haven't. You can always find another way. You might grow something back and it's even better. So we're talking figuratively in your life, but there's no dead end here with this symbol. So get back into your creative zone, close your eyes a little bit and figure out, what do I want? How can I solve this? What's next? This is a very powerful symbol. Okay. I definitely see a lot of love energy coming through. We'll talk about it when I get to love. I'm just going to focus on general messages from your guides first. Okay. Change. It's all about change this month. So this is the first change card, the lovely pregnant Empress here with like the whole world that she's kind of carrying with her. And then guess what? We have the world. Lovely kind of connection between the two. The world is upside down, which means that sometimes it's scary to go into that change. We also have the Fool here in possibilities. So this is a lovely sort of connection here. And it shows you that how cyclical things are. Let me pull all of these things up here. So this is the cycle of life, isn't it? Delivery. And this is like the end, and this is doing it again. So we're never done. It really was what I was talking about. You're constantly going through that period of growth, development, release, and then renewal again. So it's all there in front of us. You're That's the whole human experience, the soul experience. All right, back to this. This is a take charge card. Are you ready to be a leader? You can be a strong leader, but also kind of nurture and allow for growth beneath you. So that's what the Empress does very well. She's kind, she's strong, but she is also very protective of what she needs to protect. So I kind of love all the energy of this. Really good time to put your energy into finishing something. If you are working on something, a house, this would be the final stages of construction. A book, you would be in revisions phase here, or editing phase. Let's see, if you're working on personal health, you would start to see movement in your general health here, but you're not at the final stage. It's basically working on it. You're kind of chipping away if you're like a sculptor and you're starting to get some of the shapes, but it's not done. This is doing the work, and you're really doing a great job at doing the work right now. So don't give up. Some of you want to be hands-on and lead. You can probably combine that a little bit. Just remember, for those of you that got like the Two of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, that you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it and managing your resources well. I see a move happening for some of you. I saw the houses. So for some of you, you're looking at new apartment, new house, or stepping in or out of a relationship. And so that can be scary, but that can also be really sort of exciting and healthy for some of you too. I'll take the World any day over the Tower because it just shows that you've built up to this moment and you know exactly what's coming. And it is it's more euphoric. Towers are great too, but you really want to be riding the wave of the tower, not sort of being beholden to it. You're typically not beholden to the World card. Now, the World card is reversed, which means for some of you, you are holding on to the past for some reason. And this card is just basically saying it's going to be okay. You don't need to. Walk through the portal. Good things await you. If you're looking for love, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for something, expand your horizons. This is that really deep partnership, but this is saying it may not be in your neighborhood, in your state, or in your country. There could be someone, something, some connection from abroad. So you want to open up your horizons. And it also may be unexpected. Like if it is a love interest or a colleague that you're looking for, or someone that you're trying to interview and have join your team, they may not fit your cookie cutter view of what you think they should be, but they're probably going to be better, but will confound you a little bit and think like, why doesn't this match up to what I thought it would match up to? Okay. We have the Ace of Swords here. Listen to yourself and do something with what you're thinking about. I really love, we kind of see it looks like a ram's horn, I think. But she's connecting to source. And with the Ace of Swords, you have to do something with those thoughts. So this is a developing and executing on a creative vision, writing it down, talking it out, putting some action behind it, and continuing to, in that moment, receive more, kind of like what I'm doing here. You have to keep receiving, speaking, and doing. And so just imagine that you're channeling a little bit. We're all capable of channeling. So if you've ever been like in the flow at work, you know this, where suddenly just stuff is getting done. You're talking to people, you're all working together. Teams do this, like sporting teams. They start to work almost like one mind. So you're going to have this sort of flow, intuitive flow that happens. It can happen alone. It can happen with others. But I feel like you're going to hit the flow this month, which is great. It is important for you to continue to remember the message of the Six of Pentacles, which is not everything for everyone at every moment. So you can't make everybody happy. You can't do everything at all the time. You have to sort of pick and choose. The good news with the Six of Pentacles is just about everything you want to do, you can do, but not at once, not, it has to sort of like be spaced out with time, with resources, etc. So be intelligent about when and where to do things, and you're going to be fine. This is also the requisite card that I look for new beginnings, telling me that you can make it work, which you can. Okay, so you got two great cards: Eight of Pentacles, which is learning and understanding and developing, and then the Six of Pentacles, which is balancing and growing and kind of like making some choices. For some of you, you might be going to school while you're working. You might be deciding to do something in the morning or evening. If you're trying to start a business, you're kind of doing two things at once. So you'll figure it out, but you've got to make smart choices. All right, in the environment, and something we will look at in just a few moments here, is love. So don't worry, I will touch on love. I have an expanded forecast where we'll focus on love in depth. But once again, we have cups in reverse. We do have you showing up with the cup upright, and this is around you. So this actually speaks more to the people around you, which tells me that there might be a little bit of like they're a little extra. They need a little bit more than you might expect. But there is a nice connection here. I would rather it be a king and a queen, or a king and a king, and a queen and a queen. But when I have a king and a knight, I do see a little bit of maybe maturity issues where you're maybe showing more maturity in the person around you, not on the same level. So you have to decide, do I want to have that maternal paternal energy that we would get with some of these cards? Much more maternal with these two, but you don't want to have to mother or father someone if you're dating them, because that's not sexy and it kind of isn't great for the whole role of partnership. You want balance, you want equity. So be mindful of that. People just may need some of your time and energy and support. Decide how much. It's all up to you. Okay. We have the Fool card here, which is saying you're going to find that way through. That's an amethyst crystal, by the way. I get questions about that a lot. So the Fool card here, that's a protective symbol. My amethyst is now, usually it's right up there, but I have some decorations up. It's just further out there by my, like I have a little shelf. It's over there. But I always have amethyst in the room that I read in because it's protective. Great sort of crystal to wear anywhere, as a ring, as a necklace, earrings, good crystal, multi-purpose crystal. So very good at protecting you. So just know this, you're protected in the change that you need to make, even if you feel afraid. We see someone uncertain and maybe not quite ready to make the change, and the Fool is saying, no, you can do this after all. And sometimes I like to kind of talk about the Fool as being the wise fool, because as we go through these cycles in our own life and also in each incarnation, because we are reborn, then we start to gain wisdom. So if you've ever seen an old soul, it is an old soul, like a kid that acts like he's 55, or a little girl that, she's going to be a CEO one day. Yeah, because they already have it from all the past lives. So when you start something new, you get to carry with you the messages and the memories. I was just talking last weekend, actually, if you watched the collective, about the moth, and how in the metamorphosis phase, they keep the memories from being a caterpillar. The neural kind of like connections stay in that sort of soup, but everything else changes. So we're the same way. We keep key pieces of what we need to hold on to in incarnations, and then we remember a lot, of course, in this lifetime. So you're not like starting from scratch. You're just turning a new page. Okay. This can also be the birth and the delivery and something new. All right. Final card, 10 of Wands. Hello, it's another moving card. It's good. What I love about this particular one is we see that she's not carrying the burden anymore. So, when we were looking at your weekly forecast, I believe it was Friday where the 10 of Swords popped up. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty good at remembering card placement. So you don't have to carry the load alone. So if someone tries to unload all of that garbage on you, that's theirs to deal with on some levels, especially if they're having a hard time with accountability or responsibility, etc. So you do you let them do themselves, and let this sort of like balance out. And that's what I like here. Is that this is you're already through the tough part, is what I see. The question is, are you ready to let it go? The 10 of Wands in reverse can be you holding on to something too long. It can be someone else trying to push you to do something that you're not ready to do. But the main thing here with the Fool and the World card is release, moving on, moving. There's definitely moving going on for many of you. The World, the Fool, and the 10 of Wands. Travel can be a part of this. Some of you are maybe starting to travel more than you had for the past 2 years almost because of the pandemic. It's also a reminder of how important it is to connect with people, like I said, whether virtually or actually that FaceTime is going to be so important. Okay. These are great cards. There was nothing here that I could even remotely say is negative. So your guides are telling you, I felt very good about this retrograde, by the way. We're going to expand it here in a second, but just a little sidebar. All the messages thus far are about growth and development. Different retrogrades carry different energy. This one for me feels good, feels really good. And so I feel like it's a cleanup opportunity, and it's also kind of like this alignment opportunity, planning. And then after this, so again, looking at like October 18th and beyond, I feel like things are going to like the end of the year is going to be over in a snap. Things are going to happen with rapid fire. So just easy does it during this retrograde. And I feel like you're going to be set up for some really nice success and movement. We're done with the stagnation. Okay. Let's expand the forecast now. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. All right, using a new card, new deck here, we have actually love coming through in your health card. And we have the rose fairy here, but rose is the key symbol. So by the way, you can get rose hips like in jam and in tea. And also you can use rose essence. It tends to be really expensive if you get pure essence. But if you're looking to calm yourself and to bring love into your life, consume rose, but get it in the tea and in the jam or like edible stuff. You don't ever want to, kind of have an oil that's not meant for consumption. But there actually are plenty of ways that you can eat rose hips. They smell great. There's also rose essence that you can cook with too. There's like rose water, I think. So if you're looking to plus something up a little bit like a dessert or just a little bit of you time, you could have some rose tea, you could have some rose jam, or you could put something in a dessert that has rose in it as well. And it's a great way to bring love into your life and to feel a sense of kind of like just joy and kindness. So roses are coming through and you can actually eat them. So you could look for some foods that have that particular ingredient. Just like lavender, you can find these things in food. So a little less common, but it's cool. Of course, the message of love, which I'm going to look at in a moment here, but it's coming through and it's saying for your happiness, for your health, for your well-being, you want to focus on matters of the heart. And it looks big to me. Like it feels like it's either deciding to stay or deciding to go, but not a lot of in between. For many of you, the biggest thing you might want to, again, have a baby. Some of you are impatient because you're trying to create this sort of higher connection. Be patient. Keep doing the work on yourself. The message is always the same here. But we'll talk more about love in a second, but I do think relationship harmony is going to be important. Loving and accepting yourself is what we're going to focus on in this moment in time, because right now, a lot of us are at a point where maybe, you look in the mirror and you think, I don't look the same way I did 2 years ago. Love yourself, work on what you need to, but you have to sort of celebrate who you are and be in that moment and be honest in that moment as well. So self-love, self-acceptance, and loving and accepting and supporting other people as well, because it all starts there. If you can't love yourself, nobody else can. Okay. Let's focus on some of the messages from the cards here on just being healthier from your guides as well. You should be kind of connecting with your passion. I feel like I say this all the time, but it's important. The more you can be in your joy and in your passion, the more successful you can be, and the more sort of viral that success will be as well. I think it's important to change your environment. Some of you are stagnating in your current environment, and the World card in reverse says it's either about moving, redecorating, or getting out of the house a little bit and changing that up so that you don't feel like the walls are coming in on you. Simple forms of exercise are often the most effective. A simple walk, swimming. For those of you that might be unable to do that, you can even do workouts from a chair. There's some restorative exercises where you can be, if you're in a wheelchair, if you're older and you don't want to do the walking and et cetera, you can kind of do, using your body weight to kind of lift up and do stuff from a chair. But simple exercises just to get the energy moving. And then I want you to focus on spinal health right now too. So the 10 of Wands reversed is something that you can correct, but it usually has to do with carrying too much of a load, emotional or physical. And then it has a way of kind of like, if it's emotional, it might be up here in the neck and the shoulders. If it's physical, it may somehow kind of connect with the back and you're just feeling points of pain. So take care of that. Talk to a doctor. Standard disclaimers apply here where I'm just helping you see energy, but I do think it's important to move, to stretch, and to pay attention to spinal health this month. Some of you might also just have a lot going on, a lot of ideas. It might be hard to get to sleep at night. So do what you can to try to kind of deal with anxiety or a busy mind. All right, those are the messages for health, mostly good this month. All right, as we look, by the way, I mentioned before, it is a good time for those of you that might be trying to get pregnant to do so. If you're not, be careful because I see fertility symbols all over the place here. Okay, let's look now at wealth. We have a manifestation card, but it's reversed. So I want you to trust yourself. When you doubt yourself, you delay manifestation. Sometimes you can even stop it. So we don't want to do that. So are you ready for it to happen? Are you ready for it to happen now? Have you said what you want to the universe so that it can hear you, so that it can help you? guides, angels, and even your higher self sometimes needs that permission to step in. So state the intention. It's a good month for you. Let's get rid of the sort of retrograde fear. We're going to dig at all the stuff that hasn't been working and weed it out, and we're going to focus on setting the plans so that there'll be a brighter tomorrow. So what do you want to manifest? Write it down. That's one of the things that we have with the Eight of Pentacles. If you're ready to, here's something that's really interesting. A change of environment can change everything in your life. So many of you are probably long in the teeth and ready for a move. So look at it. Don't rush it. Remember, no artificial deadlines on yourself or from others. But I feel like a move could be really beneficial in your general life. New people, new energies come in because you change everything from, like how you get home to, all the shops that you go to the new people that you're going to see as the neighbors, like everything. It's the most sort of like radical shift that you can do when you move sometimes, unless you're just moving next door. But if you're moving, wherever, it's going to change everything in your life. So a move could be really, really healthy for manifestation. Receiving, believing, and then starting to execute on that is going to be key. If you disbelieve, then you sort of, it doesn't go anywhere. So I just want you to trust, be a channel, and that's going to be really key. And then let it go, release it. You don't have to do it all anymore. For some of you, you're just tired of carrying the load because we have the 10 of Wands and the Fool in rapid succession there. So I think for some of you, just deciding like, I want to do this for me. That was part of the reason I decided to make a shift, because I just was helping everyone else do everything else. And I was just tired. I felt like I got up, I went to work, I worked hard every day, and I went to sleep. And all of a sudden, like, 10 years or 15 years goes by and you think, what am I doing? So you don't have to do everything for everyone. Do some stuff for you. Focus in a little bit and feel like you're part of that equation again. All right, let's move on to love, which I've been saying that I'm going to look at. So we're going to look at it now. So we have Paul the Venetian here, experiencing grace. I need my glasses for the smaller text here. It says, share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So this is a much more service-oriented card. So some of you might be deciding to give back. If you're either retired or widowed or single and happy, this might be more about volunteer work or community work and how that brings you joy. It might also just be like getting out there in the public and connecting with people. But all right, let's move on to the three different pieces. And grace, I'm really going to pull that piece into it as we look at it. Let's start for those of you that are in relationships and see what the messages from your guides are. First and foremost, it feels like family's coming through very strongly here. So we have the Six of Cups, which if in a different illustration, you would see like a little boy and girl with like giving each other a gift. So this is often reconnecting. So maybe there's a chance for you to heal a sibling relationship or something in the past that is actually going to make it better for your current partnership. Because if your family relationship's a mess, when, assuming that you might have kids one day, or just even when your partner is going to be around your family, that's going to make it awkward. So what we see here is family and sibling healing, and also parental and child healing. It cuts both ways. So maybe a child needs to apologize, maybe a parent needs to apologize, but there's something that can be done to heal your family unit from the past, and then also your present family unit. So if you feel like you're disconnected from your kids or your partner, because this can just be soulmates, then you just need to make sure that those connections, the deep connections, are being healed. Feels like one or both of you may be focusing on betterment right now. So support your partner if they want to go back to school or learn something new. It's a really good time for that. If you are married and you are thinking of adopting or having a baby or something like that, it's definitely coming up as an issue that you need to discuss to make sure, are we doing this again or are we done with this? So for some of you, there's that big decision of whether now or not, or one and done or whatever, looking at the numbers. For the rest of you, big moves on the horizon. It could be related to work. It could just be because you're frustrated and you want to change, but it involves the other partner. So you both have to kind of balance out. You're going to give and take. The new location, the new home is going to be a little bit of a meshing of what you two had. It might not be everything you want, but it might be most of what you want, and a lot of what they want. So you're going to have to find the common ground. And then the other person wants a little bit more time from you. For some of you, it might be because you're doing a lot for yourself, which is fine. But the Knight of Cups here is like, hey, I was hoping we could, do dinner, we could do this, we could do that, make some time, have some fun. Playful energy is going to be really important with the Fool too. If you are carrying too much of the load, ask for help. The good news here is all the cards are manageable, but the World card and the Ten of Wands are about moving and moving on. So you're either moving on together or you're going to decide like enough is enough. But these are very kind cards. So I feel like you're ready for this change if it's happening, if there's something like a separation or divorce or it just isn't working. But for most of you, I feel like you can work it out. It's just a matter of making time for the other person. Okay. For those of you that are looking for love, the biggest sort of component that's going to take you away from that is school, work, or personal development. The other thing that's going to create a longer wait could be that you have high expectations. Like I said before, the partner that you're pulling in it could be from another country or just kind of not be what your expectations are. They may also have one child in their life, and that may not be something that you expected. The other thing that you want to look at too is your own financial sort of, I guess, solubility and health, making sure that you've got it all under control. Because as you enter into a new relationship, you don't want to bring debt. You don't want to bring any drama. So just cleaning up your resources is going to be really important. What I'm getting here is a water sign, because we look at this as in the environment as the person coming in. So it's a nice energy, but they are in a sort of difficult phase in their life. They might just be coming out of a job or a relationship or a loss in their life, and they need a little more support. So you have to decide, do I have the time and patience for that? It may not be a maturity thing as much as it is just sort of they've got a lot going on. So you're going to be the rock. So if you're ready for that, that's what we're seeing. I do see a very compatible energy since it's water and water. A lot of times that shows the same sort of sensibilities. If you're not looking for love, so either you're single and happy or career oriented or divorced or retired and over all this stuff, the messages are pretty good for you too. I feel like this is a great time to still have fun and connect with younger people in your life. And just people that are playful and youthful and kind of bring that energy out. I'm sure every friend and family group has the extrovert. Hang out with that extrovert. Some cool stuff will happen there. Great productive time for you. Same message as I was kind of just delivering, which is to get some balance when it comes to resources in your life. You get to say no if you're not looking for love. This Knight of Cups in reverse may just be too much. So some of you just want to go for a walk, take a hike, take a day trip, do something. I don't care. Have a day. Make it a day. Do something for yourself. Okay. It would be nice also if you lighten the load. So for this could represent getting rid of some stuff in your life. Look at how much she's carrying here. I think it could be a lighter load. So look at some of the stuff in your closets as we go into a different season. Do you really need some of this stuff anymore? Has it been there so long that moths are eating it? If it is, it's time to kind of lighten that energy up, and that will help you as well. Okay. So overall, I like what I see there for relationships. It looks good. The grace piece is to take the high road. So for everybody, since we looked at the 7-day forecast, be very mindful of Thursday and Friday. The rest of the week looked great. This upcoming Saturday looks fantastic. So there's some good days to look at. But I would say overall, you're going to have to try to be the one that's stronger and sometimes smarter, as it were. All right. We have the gazelle rather here in the outcome, which shows me things are going to speed up. But there's a little initial delay here because the card is reversed. So you're being asked to just think of it as a semicolon, not quite a full stop, a little bit of a pause. Things are going to connect, things are going to pick up, but you've got a little semicolon here with the gazelle. And then it's going to get going fast. So enjoy the reprieve while you can, figure out what you want to do. And then once you activate, you can zoom away. Okay. So those are the main messages here for the month ahead. And I'm really excited about what I see here overall. Let me just kind of give you the big idea of what I'm looking at here. With the Empress card and the womb, I really feel like this is a good time for you to develop and to release something. And it seems like there's no choice but to move on to the next path. I think the only thing that could be holding you back is a question of maybe for some of you, just making sure that your partner's on the same page. For the rest of you, it's not overthinking things. So just focus on clarifying all of that. And I think you're going to be okay based on what we're looking at here today. All right, let's go into a powerful meditation here where we're gonna, let's see, based on everything that I'm gonna help you connect with your guides today. So I'm gonna play a singing pyramid here in just a minute. So if you've never stuck around, at least listen to what it sounds like. Before we do that, and before we kind of go out there, if you have a question, I haven't answered it, take a moment and write it down on a piece of paper so that you don't forget. And then in about 2 minutes after I do the singing triangle, I will answer your question. So just stick around and then you meditate on it and I'll pull a card. A couple of other quick notes if you haven't already. This is the only time I asked, so think about doing it if you can. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do it. It helps. It shows YouTube that this is worth serving up. And if you've been a long-time watcher, but you've never subscribed, we're close to a milestone. So please consider doing that. The thumbs up should be right under the video, the subscribe as well. You can click bell notifications if you want a little bit of heads up on when I'm doing stuff. If you happen to watch this on replay, you can also show gratitude with the thanks. Otherwise, you can do super chat. And with that being said, let's get into the meditation. Let's set the stage before I stand up and play the singing triangle. I'd like to begin by, or the pyramid, I should say. I'd like to begin by just saying what we're going to try to do here is just to remind you that everyone out there has the capacity to connect with their guides. So I just want you to close your eyes and imagine that you are at the beach and just tune in for a second. Listen to the sound of the ocean as it comes through. Listen to the sound of the wind as it blows across your face. And I want you to imagine with your third eye that you could see all the way to the horizon, and there's this glass bridge that is over the water, a crystal bridge, very secure, very sturdy. And as you start to focus on this crystal bridge, you feel compelled to take a walk. So just start to walk now over the water. You can see it beneath you. You feel very secure. It's not like see-through. There's sort of like, it's opaque enough so you're not worried about the water. So just walk across this bridge. And as you get to the other side of the water, of the ocean, to the horizon, I want you to see that there's this little island that it's kind of like your ideal island that you could imagine. There's a bench that has been set up there. Sit down on the bench, and I want you to just listen. Maybe your guide will join you on the bench, or maybe you're going to just receive some messages, some visions, some signs. So just sit back in your chair. Imagine that you have this beautiful bench. You're looking out at the ocean. You're closing your eyes. And one of the things that my guides want to remind you is that intuition is subtle. It often speaks in gentle images, gentle whispers. So as you watch the trees move, as you listen to the water, maybe you'll get a whisper, maybe you'll get some inspiration. And maybe if you're really connected, there might be someone or something that kind of comes through. Spirit totem, for instance, maybe it'll be something like a wolf or a fox or something like that. It doesn't have to be a human. Guides come in many forms. So just set some time up to listen, to connect. And as you do that, I'm going to play this pyramid and you can enjoy. So let me just get up here and get everything set up. And then after this, we will pull an extra card. All right, take a deep breath. I want you to pay attention to any of the messages that you received, knowing that one of the most important things you can do is to just release judgment. There's no right or wrong way to receive information. If you just felt an emotion, that was a conveyance of information from your guide. So it can be as simple as a thought, a feeling, an image. There could have been a message. If you set up time each and every day to meditate like this, more and more information will come forth. So do this at least once a week. Set some time, see yourself on your favorite island, see yourself sitting on a bench, holding some space and seeing what comes through. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes and let's take a look at your final question and final card. This can be whatever it is on your mind. Does not have to be anything that I've covered, obviously. So just focus on it. You don't have to type it out. And I'm going to pull a card and we'll see what's coming through. I hope you enjoyed that. That's a new instrument that I got. Very gentle sound, a lot different than the singing bowl. I could kind of listen to that for a long time. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm constantly looking for new things. So I may do a more extended version of it on Instagram or on TikTok. Or maybe I'll do something here too one time where I just play it for a while, because honestly, you could listen to that for like 10 minutes. And if I don't talk and you just listen to the triangle, that's a great way to meditate and see what comes through. All right, so focus on your question. All right, we have the Nine of Cups coming through, which is good. The Nine of Cups is generally a very positive card. So to me, it would be a yes, but there is something to be mindful of with the Nine of Cups. The card was reversed, so it can sometimes be about putting all of your energy in one place at one time and kind of like going overboard. We talked a lot today about reining in your energy and reining in your emotions. So this Nine of Cups is about that, not going too far, too fast, not letting one thing get you upset or get you overexcited. So I think that taking it easy, taking the highs and lows together, taking everything in stride is going to be so important with this. So don't let your emotions get out of hand and you should be fine. But this is generally good news. It's also a very sunny side of the street or the silver lining kind of card. So just make sure that when things don't perfectly align to your expectation for that it's not the end of the world. You're going to be okay. All right. So really, really love this. It is a yes. And it is just saying, don't let your emotions get ahead of you on this and you should be okay. Hey, Apollo. So let's wrap up for today. I hope you enjoyed the formats that I've changed this up for the past few weeks. And I hope you enjoyed the new instrument, always trying new things. And thanks for showing up today. I also have put out my schedule. So I'm just going to give you another link to that here if I can get it going. So here's the live schedule if you haven't seen it already. The next video that I will be doing is, I believe, Gemini. Let me just double check. But no, yes, Taurus on Monday, Gemini on Thursday. I'm always here at 9 a.m. So you can come through on those days and join me. You're always welcome to show up, especially for the beginnings and for the meditations. If you like the triangle and if you like the channel messages, I have a lot of folks that show up every day. So you're always welcome. And you can watch for all your placements in your chart. I forgot to say this: sun, rising, moon, Venus, all of that. So if you haven't ever gotten your chart done, get your chart done and you can see all the different placements. And then it helps you understand how the messages relate to you. Okay. I'm going to take a couple minutes here also to say thanks to people that gave back. So let me do that. Also, I'm just curious. I'm going to do I'll do a special post, but I'm very close to my 300,000 milestone. So I think a Q&A would be the most fun for everybody, but I'll put a little post up on the community tab soon and I'll see what you guys would like for that. Okay. So there you go. Every Sunday I'll be here. I'm doing a special one on Halloween this particular month, which is always my favorite sort of collective. That's actually how I kicked it off last year with collectives. So we'll be looking at, the veil is very thin during that period, obviously. So we'll look at ancestral energy, messages from those who have passed, messages from the other side. So it should be the good kind of spooky fun. We'll go out there and kind of connect and do some healing and also pray for the departed. So, okay, let me take a look at everyone who was kind enough to give back today. and just say thank you. All right, so 1 second here while I navigate. I saw we got some new members, so let me try to say hello to them if I can see them here. Looks like we had some people that rejoined and some new ones. So I can't tell if all of these joined today, but there was a bunch of, let's see, total time on level. Let's see, it's hard to kind of see it from here, but I see Anyushri is new. It looks like 1 month you rejoined. Supriya, welcome. Shannon as well. And let's see, there's a lot of other new ones here. Aaron, Ness, Aisha, Tracy, Iorna. Let's see. And I see some people that rejoined as well, Dineo. So thank you to everybody who joined or rejoined. And if I missed you, I can only see a few here on this panel. So thanks for that. Let me go into the supers. And by the way, if you did join, every Saturday you can vote on topics. So keep an eye out for that. And I also do some special things like Q&A access. So I'm going to quickly move through everyone that was kind enough to give back today, and then we'll wrap up for today. All right, so starting with Kathy, thank you so much. Lydia, Liz, Babs, Maria, let's see, Chioko, Regina, AB, Mercathia, Darcy, AB, Cut and Paste, Susie's, yeah, Susie S, I guess maybe, Cass, GM. Cass, thank you so much. I see you gave a few times. I appreciate it. Let's see, Amierba. If I mispronounced any of these, forgive me. Danielle, Twin Readings, Annie, Agnes, Feruza, Smile. Thank you, Rose, Jerry, Sammy B, Lori Carpenter, Mira, Teresa Mead, Sammy B again, Cindy, Sarah, Jessie Lou, Jerry, Kitty Cat, Tishay B, good to see you, Carol Mancuso, Karen's Tarot Vision, Mary Jo, Gayla, let's see, Lauren 629, Patrice W, Beverly Kendall, Wendy Wright, 62 and Sunny, AW, Carolyn D, Jeannie Hart, and let's see, Miss Moses and Claudia. Let's see if I missed anyone else. It looks like a couple of people here at the end, so I want to make sure I didn't forget anyone here. So we have, how do you say your name? Is it Mauricia? Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, everybody. That is everything for today. Again, join me tomorrow. Can't wait to see you if you're going to join in on that. I'll have links for the rest of the videos up. Again, I'll post the schedule for the next week again later today. In the meantime, much love and light. You want to say goodbye, Apollo? We'll tune out with Apollo, who woke up from his nap. Come here, buddy. Let's say goodbye to everyone, and then I'm going to take this little guy for a walk. I know. He's like, Dad, I have a hairball. I'm going to put him down. He's got a hairball right now. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon and have a good day. Thanks again to Maria and Dakota for your help. I wish you all the best. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.